In my previous video, I discussed how even though Subnautica is a good game, it's significantly bogged down by numerous poor design choices. Further investigation has demonstrated to me that a few user-made mods can be installed which drastically improve the experience by alleviating Subnautica's worst flaws. In this video, I'll discuss what these mods do, why they're so important, and how to install them. If you're only interested in the how-to guide for installing them, you can skip ahead using the chapter timecodes in the description. One caveat is that the mods only work on Windows. You can see here I'm in-game with a number of mods installed, specifically EasyCraft, Customized Storage, and MoreQuickSlots. Using Customized Storage, you can expand the number of horizontal and vertical spaces in the inventory. I've adjusted them so that it gives the maximum amount of space while not overlapping the icons. EasyCraft eliminates the huge amount of busywork and backtracking involved in constantly changing around storage spaces. So for example, if we want to customize a power cell right here, and you can see in my inventory I have some batteries, but I don't have the silicone rubber that's required. However, in one of my lockers, you'll see that I do have the silicone rubber, it's just not in my inventory. One of the things EasyCraft does is it ignores what's in your inventory and allows you to craft from the stuff that's in your lockers as well. This eliminates a lot of the back and forth from rummaging through lockers and switching things in and out of your inventory. You can also see that I have additional spaces for my quick slots. You have 1 through 12, and you can add a number of items and tools from your inventory to those quick slots instead of having to fidget with them and charge them in and out. Using customized storage, you can also change the number of spaces that you have in other things like the water filtration machine and your vehicle storage modules. I want to make it clear that these mods are not about making the game easier. They're about alleviating the pointless busy work, backtracking, and endless amounts of time rummaging through storage lockers, looking up crafting recipes, and just overall futzing. Another customizable action you can take, though it's not a mod, is something that I believe does offer a slight quality of life improvement. If you go to keyboard, you can change out which keys apply to what. By default, cycle to next and previous tools are the middle mouse scroll wheel, but you can change the middle mouse scroll wheel to only apply to your left hand use. This makes breaking ore easier, as you can see in the game. Normally it would take 3 button presses to break the ore deposit and then a 4th click just to pick up the ore. With the middle mouse wheel now on use, you can quickly go to an ore deposit and then just flick the mouse wheel to grab all of the deposit and ore at once. The mods for Below Zero work similarly, with some of the mods even having the same name, although now you can use the inventory with a scroll wheel and have a much more expanded number of slots, as well as not having to overlap the spaces. This applies not just to your inventory, but also other things like your storage modules and lockers, just like the first game. This brings up what I consider to be the most frustrating aspect of Subnautica's development. The creation of any work can suffer from problems, and while I think that ultimately it shouldn't be the consumer's concern, I can understand them. As long as the developers seem to be putting in genuine effort, I'm personally a lot more forgiving of issues that result from time and budget constraints. What I'm not forgiving of is problems that arise from incompetence, laziness, or apathy. Subnautica's worst problems that these mods solve could have been fixed by the developers, but they chose not to. Below Zero demonstrates this very well, as the developers didn't fix the problems for their second game, and even slight improvements such as changing the beacon's default color from blue to orange so they're easier to see weren't retroactively applied to the first game. For my own enjoyment, I played through the original Subnautica again, but with the mods installed, and it was incredible to me how much better the game was. I think it's a shame these settings aren't the default, as I know my initial experience with the game would have been a lot more positive if I'd played with the mods installed from the beginning. Now for a guide on how to actually install the mods. You'll want to go to NexusMods.com and then bring up Subnautica in the search field. Here you can see a number of different mods, which we can see by sort popular. You'll have to make an account in order to download these, but the account is completely free. Here you can see a number of different mods for various things, but primarily we're only going to want a few. Specifically the QModManager, which is the mod that you need in order to install other mods, MoreQuickSlots, EasyCraft, and Customized Storage. You can see here on the page it'll show what the mod does, then you'll simply go to Manual, and then choose to manually download. Once you have it downloaded and you run the executable file, it should automatically download to your Subnautica folder, which you can see in Steam Apps Common Subnautica. The QModManager will automatically make a new folder called QMods, which is what you'll put your mods in. Here you can see I have my mods, Customized Storage, EasyCraft, and MoreQuickSlots. You get these in the same way that you do the QModManager. Simply go to the mod, you can read the description, and then you go to Manual Download. The Customized Storage mod works slightly differently in that you have to go to a config file within it in order to change it. You can see here it's just a simple notepad document, and you can change the width and height of the in-game inventory as well as other storage modules and everything else that requires storage spaces. Here you can see that I've already modified the width and height of all of the in-game inventory and modules. I'd recommend not exceeding 9x11 for any particular module or storage space as it causes the icons to overlap each other. And that's it. Now you can have all of the mods installed and have a much more enjoyable Subnautica experience than you would otherwise. As always, thank you for watching.